Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu Richard and Mike Wood here to take you through, well, a nice Saturday at Rosehill Gardens. But before we get to that, last week, that was big, mate. The Monster and Careless, some big value there in the quaddy. I don't think I've ever heard you cheer so loud.
That was a massive week. We were confident last week, weren't we? A sticky round conditions, certain horses like those conditions. We're back to Rosehill, back to a dry Rosehill, so the same conditions we had a few weeks ago now. Yeah,
we've just that one glitch at Randwick and back to that bone-hard dry Rosehill, so take us through the day.
Yeah, starting off with the conditions for the first leg of the quaddy, let's get straight into it for the 4 races that we're focusing on in this show. A benchmark 78 over 1,500 metres to kick off the quaddy. A fair to strong tempo with a bit of tempo from out wide coming across. Good 3 conditions we're hoping for. Good weather for the Christmas period and a fair bias with the rail back to the true. So the 3 key factors based on those conditions. Look, a lot of these horses got similar form around each other. So position and run and stage of prep may make a length or 2 difference, which could make the difference on Saturday. And scope as well. We're looking for horses on the way up on Saturday as well.
There's a lot of form, as you say, around that Hogmanay race of a fortnight ago, and, well, we've just got to ask ourselves, is that the obvious form in the race? So as we have a look across to the market, it is going to be that form that's around about the money, but it's Cabeza de Vaca that is actually on top at $4.60. So Gaze just thrown one in here, and then we've got Hogmanay in behind at $5.50. Little drift today from $5. And we've got Kandinsky. Didn't that horse run on in that race as well? We've got Heartlings there, another fresh horse, and Gold Ambition didn't get the job done for us last start, but a good run nonetheless. So plenty to weigh up here, Mike, with that form line.
Yeah, we tipped Gold Ambition last time, didn't he? He was so close. There's 5 of these horses, the top 5 in the same grade, same track, same distance 2 weeks ago. So we've got to have a look at this replay for the first replay in this race. Look at this race here. Gold Ambition's the one in the red and the yellow, tracking up behind them. Getting probably the perfect run. Hogmanay in the orange just in front of him. Classic uniform in the yellow and green. And King Darcy getting a cheeky little run up on there on the rails there, didn't he, Stu?
Yeah, absolutely did. But, yeah, look, these 2 are going to fight it out, the 2 in the red. But one flashing from the back here, Kandinsky, the red and the white just getting out now. Really flew home, but the race was here up front.
Yeah, he smashed the line. The only one to come from last, so it's a big tick for Kandinsky. Bit of an on-pace bias, a bit of a steady tempo as well, which he had to fight against. But those top 2 horses and the 5th horse were the best runs for us.
Well, the horse that came second there, Gold Ambition, actually had some Group 1 racing form around it in the autumn. And for the next replay, we're going to take you back to the Group 1 Randwick Guineas. Yes, that's the Group 1 Randwick Guineas. And, look, this is a serious horse this day, around some serious horses. And I think the biggest reason we're showing this replay is 3rd up this day.
Yeah, absolutely. We showed this replay 2 weeks ago, just before he ran, and we thought, look, we have to show it again because it is 3rd up and because of the quality of this race. It's almost unbelievable. As we said last time, we're showing a Group 1 race for a benchmark 78. Gold Ambition's in the red and yellow again, just coming to the outside now. The horse on his inside in red and yellow as well is none other than Press Statement. And the horse striding to the lead, not a bad horse as well, Stu.
Yeah, that's Liramain striding to the lead. So absolute Group 1 form around this horse, Gold Ambition, this day. And, look, finished right on their heels.
Yeah, the top 5, already classy horses. The horse in 5th ran one on the Derby. Look, you can't say any more about this race, just top quality.
Well, an interesting replay to have a look at for a benchmark 78, as you said. And, well, as we do on this show, we've got to have a look for the gold. So show us the gold in the first leg of the quaddy here for the key factors.
Let's see what makes a difference here. Look, Cabeza de Vaca, you can't go against him. He smashed a lower grade race in Wyong, but stage of preparation, he's primed, and scope, he's on the way up as well. Position and run, a big tick to Hogmanay and Heartlings from the inside barriers. But like we said, Gold Ambition 3rd up's a big tick as well. And he's also got scope on the way up also.
Well, I'm loving a lot of the form out of that Hogmanay race, but one interesting runner here. Where does this Waterhouse runner fit in? As we look across to the overall ratings, I just want to see where we've got him in here.
The answer is, Stu, right in the middle. I mean, there's 5 runners there. You'd think they'd all be together because they were so close, but we couldn't differentiate Cabeza de Vaca from the field. We do have the top 2 horses that finished 1-2 last start in the top 2 positions there. And Kandinsky, just the wide barrier and getting back, that's why he's not quite at the top. That run was huge. Let's go straight to the best bet. Quite a stacked field there and quite close between those top horses. So we've got to go with the horse on top, the horse at value, Gold Ambition. And maybe just in case the Waterhouse horse doesn't show up, stick with those horses from the 1,500 metre race for an exacta as well.
No arguments from me there. I think it's a very strong form reference, that race. There's a look at the first leg of the quaddy. And in the second leg here, well, there's 2 horses here in Snoopy and Religify. They're both absolutely flying and especially love this track, Rosehill, as well.
They are absolutely flying, aren't they? But there's a couple of question marks on these 2 horses we'll look at in a second. This is the main race of the day on Saturday at Rosehill Gardens. A handicap over 1,400 metres. Hopefully a good track, hopefully a fair bias as well. The thing about this race that characterises it is a really strong tempo, a small field, and a lot of horses going forward despite the small field. So straight across the 3 key factors, stage of preparation again. There's different horses at different stages of their prep. Weight, there's a couple of really important apprentice claims in this race. and Surge. Because of that strong tempo, the last 200 metres is going to be really important.
Well, the punters have absolutely loved rallying behind both Snoopy and Religify their last few starts, but I'm expecting just to see that again with the market. And as we have a look across here, well, wouldn't you know it, Snoopy very well supported actually into 260. Religify absolutely flying as well, 340. Backman stayed really solid in the market here at $5, and then a little bit out to Snippets Land and the good old tough Ecuador there. But it is these two horses that the punters just keep coming back for, Snoopy and Religify.
Yeah, Ecuador kept on winning at big odds last time, didn't he? But over a longer distance, he's a great horse. Snoopy and Religify both flying. Let's look at one of them in the first replay. Religify is the one for us we're going to kick off with. He loves to dry Rosehill 1400 metres, doesn't he? This is the same conditions last time. Karen McAvoy stacked them up a little bit for the first 600-700 metres. He knew he was on a fit horse. He got to the turn and he said, no more mucking around. He booted for home.
Yeah, take no prisoners, Kay McAvoy said, and away he went. That was just a really good, tough, hard-fit run, and that's a horse that's going to be right there Saturday.
Yeah, the horse out wide, Dances on the Stars, doesn't win much and doesn't do much in this particular replay, but he's a horse with talent on his day.
Well, didn't do much there at all, just sort of labouring out there in the red, but for the second replay, we're going to actually take you to Dances on Stars, but the reason for this one is, well, not the reason, but you just said he hasn't won since May 2014. So you can tell us the reason, Mike. Why are we watching this replay?
A lot of people will be asking why we're looking at this horse for so much time on this show. He doesn't win that much, Dances on Stars. He's way out the back here in the red. Off a fair tempo, Rosehill, 1500 metres dry track, so similar conditions. The Godolphin horse on pace this day is It's Somewhat. He's a Group 2, Group 1 horse at his best. And Dances of Stars storms home the outside with a horse called Excess Knowledge. He's a fantastic horse as well. The reason we're looking at this replay, he's back in distance, back from an interstate trip like he was last time. It might just be the trick for getting the best form out of this 7-year-old. This is a huge run.
Yeah, there were three in the red there, and it's that one that's absolutely flying down the outside. So, look, we've had a look at a roughie here in both of those replays, so I'm expecting to see a little bit of gold here as we head across to the key factors for this horse.
Yeah, a little bit sort of mixed this page there, isn't it? There's gold bars down the bottom of the page. Dances on Stars, we talked about stage of preparation. He's the one ready to peak. There are some questions on the rest of the horses. Weight, that's a good idea, and Dances on Stars, so well weighted compared to their best form. And Surge, Snippets Land and Ecuador, both horses that really hit the line over the last 200 metres. Slight questions on Religify, wide track, wide barrier, big weight.
Yeah.
And Snoopy as well. Can he repeat 3 runs in a row? I don't know. Tough ask.
I'm a little bit confused with those gold bars. I mean, you've got no gold bars there for the favourites at all. So is that a little bit of a set against Snoopy and Religify?
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, looking at those gold bars, they were confused. And look at this page. It's not really
These
helpful.
ratings don't help too much either.
They don't help at all, do they? I mean, what we've got 7 there with a length between them, and this race really confused us. We obviously can't be confident about Religify and Snoopy based on those ratings, and we're obviously not confident in this race at all, so we're going to bet small, we're going to bet wide, and we're going to bet on Dances on Stars, of course. We've showed him twice, so no points of guessing what was going to be the right horse. Gerald Ryan's a great horseman. He knows how to get the best of his horses, each way or a place for sure.
Well, there we go. In a tough race, we've come up with the best bet, Dances on Stars. There's a look at the first 2 legs of the quaddie for Rosehill this weekend, and after the break, we'll do legs 3 and 4. See you then. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. We've had a look at the first 2 legs of the quaddie, and Mike, we've got one here in Surplush, back on a dry Rosehill track, and there's another one here, Careless. That was the one you were cheering for. It's not going to be $91 today, that's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be hard to watch him go around without our money this time. I mean, it was so close last week. He loved the Ramwick sticky conditions. Let's look at the conditions for this race on Saturday. Back to a benchmark 77 lower grade races again on Saturday for the off-season. 1,400 metres, a fair to strong tempo, a bit of tempo out wide in this race. Good track, fair bias as well for this particular race as well on Saturday. So across the 3 key factors, the good track has to be a key factor for us, as well as the Rosehill Gardens track. Certain horses are suited on that track, and scope as well. We're looking for horses on the rise on Saturday. Well, Surplush is one runner that hasn't been out of a place this whole preparation, and one the punters like to rally for. And as we look at the market, they've done just that again. Good support, 460 into 440. One that was scratched from last week, like a couple of these. Sonic Swish was another one there. One of those scratched from last week. Good support today, though, into 550. We've got Dark Steel, $7 there. We've got Ham from Above, $9. And there's Careless, well, $9.50 today, not the big price of last week. And We're Sure, $10, the swooper. So, look, interesting, but the money's come for Surplush, and the punters have got to be confident again. Yeah, he's a deserved favourite, isn't he? He was so good last start behind Redoutable Heart, a great horse. That's a great form reference you can have a look at. But we had to look at this particular replay, didn't we? Because this has got to qualify for the messiest race in 2016. This was a bloodbath back on the inside, wasn't it? Such a hard race to watch.
Quantrill in the white and the green coming to the outside, tracking up behind ISO Rich in the purple, who's the one that won this race. A couple of others swooping down the outside as well. That Sonic Swish in the widest in the yellow, but plenty of horses back on the inside struggling, Stu.
Oh, plenty. You got Rock My Lady, you got Louis C.K., Hand From Above. They're still looking to get out today a couple of weeks later. So, yeah, absolute forgive there. Some interesting runs.
Yeah, interesting runs. And that's just to say that don't be too positive on those horses that came second and third. They had every chance. The other horses didn't. So maybe they would have finished fifth or sixth if the other horses had a chance.
Well, the horse that did give himself a bit of a chance was Invincible Knight. This is a replay. We're going to take you back to the listed, it was a Bendigo Guineas back in March, formerly with the Moody Camp. And that's him just in the blue and the green on the inside, the worst part of the track this day. And, well, a big sprint up the inside we're about to see here.
Well, interesting, isn't it? Because this could be exactly the same scenario on Saturday. He's purple and green on the inside, like you said, from an inside barrier. The great thing about this horse, he's got plenty of scope, he's on the way up, and he's got a massive turn of foot. He sprints into this race really, really quickly. It's just the last 100, 150 that he can't go with some really classy horses, Stu.
Yeah, that's Silent Sedition winning the race and Odyssey Moon running into third there. So some really good form around, as you said, and that's just a great replay, especially where you said could be in that inside as well and sprinting up the middle again. So a really good replay to look at there, and I'm expecting a bit of gold for him in the ratings as well.
Well, this is after the last couple of races, this is an easier one to look at, isn't it? Just two horses with gold bars. Sir Plush loves a dry Rosehill 1400 metres. He showed us that before. A few question marks maybe on Careless, like we said, on drier conditions. He came last first up at Rosehill. Invincible Knight we just looked at. We think he'll love Rosehill because of his great turn of foot, and he's the one with scope. He's won 3 of 5 for John Thompson, formerly a Peter Moody horse.
Well, just 2 with the gold bars there. It's really interesting to see. And as we look across the overall ratings, well, I'm expecting to see a few of those, and there they are, 2 clear on top. That's what I like to see. Bit of confidence from the team in this race.
Well, yeah, finally we've got a bit of a clear margin after the last couple of races. Really easy to see. Sir Plush on top, Invincible Knight second. Thank God, after the hours of analysis, we've got 2 clear top raters. Let's go straight to the best bet. Sir Plush on top, really hard to throw each way. He'll be on pace, fighting hard. He can quicken on the turn, really hard to run down. The one we think might run him down, Invincible Knight, shooting up the inside with a great sprint.
Bit of confidence. I like it. I'm sensing this. Well, let's have a look at the third leg. And jumping onto the fourth, well, look, the favourites in the fourth leg of the quaddie the last couple of weeks haven't done very well at all. We had a 50-1 the other week. Let's try and steer the punters into the quaddie killer. We've got the return of Esteban here, and look, 6 first up runners as well, so it's an interesting race.
Yeah, this is a really tricky race. We thought the last one was tough, but we found 2. This one is genuinely tough, so the race conditions will make the difference. Benchmark 85, 1200 metres. Really fair, at least. Fair tempo and bias, and a good track we hope for on Saturday as well. So across the 3 key factors, that good track once again is a key factor for us. It takes a certain type of horse at Rosehill. The distance, looking for genuine sprinters, and position and run a big field, you need to be drawn well.
Well, tough one for the bookies to sort out in the last, but that often means there's some good value there for the punters. So as we have a look across to the market here, we've got Ziggy Willy on top. Wasn't that a big win last start? That was massive. We've got Pioneering in behind, 750. Perfect Dare, 750 there, the one that Ziggy Willy ran over the top of. Suspense at $9 and then out to Disgraceful, but very open in the last. 550 Ziggy Willy the field.
Well, no one expected that massive win from Ziggy Willy last start. It was a huge win, and we've got to have a look at it just to see how good it was.
Sure.
Ziggy Willy midfield in the red and green. I think Ty Angler might have rode in this day, and it was an absolute peach coming to the outside now. Perfect Dare in the lead in the yellow. Not a bad run as well. Elementa P also yellow just outside him, tapering off late.
Big win this. He's about to storm home here, and yeah, I think this is some solid form obviously going forward, but very big margin here in this race.
Well, he's a horse that's performed over 1,1500 metres as well, so maybe the strong tempo that day did help him, but you can't really say that because his stats over 1,200 metres are so strong. Maybe he's a rejuvenated horse.
Well, look, for the second replay, we're going to have a look at one that's, well, let's say she's hung around from the Spring Carnival. It's Magic Alibi, and taking you back to the Group 3 Shirako here in September, and real quality field here. We've got Ravi and Heavens Above finishing off well, but we're looking at Magic Alibi.
Yeah, she's the green and the white, sort of 2 from the rails, about 5th or 6th just on the inside. Now inside the Godolphin horse, and yeah, like you said, Stu, this is similar conditions in a race that has to be 4 or 5 lengths higher grade. She's coming alongside Ravi now, who smashed them in Brisbane a couple of starts ago, or a couple of weeks ago. She's a really talented horse. There are Group 1 and Group 2 horses all around her, and look, she's right there on the line. Yeah,
some really interesting form. That's another one, another replay. We've just taken you back to some Group form for these on a Christmas Saturday. But look, having a look at the overall ratings here, or take us through the key factors. Gold bars, it's a big race. You need to give us some help here, Mike. We're coming into Christmas. Come on.
Well, unfortunately, there's a bit of a sprinkling of gold bars rather than some real confidence here. If you look across the pages, there's Ziggy Willy. His distance stats are so strong, but most of them are okay at the distance. There's a couple off the page that won't like the 1,200 metres. A good dry track, Gold Symphony. Look, he's struggling of late anyway. The good track won't help him. Magic Alibi loves the good track. The thing about this race is the inside barriers have the early speed, and Perfect Dare is one of those, and he can blend into the race beautifully. He gets a gold bar for position in run.
Yeah, well, he's going to definitely need it. And I think, look, the big question here for me is, can Perfect Dare close that gap on Ziggy Willy? Because that's my big query in the race. But look, there's plenty in the race. Give us something here, Mike. Take us through. We've got Ziggy Willy on top, but that's pretty stacked. That's a stacked field.
Absolutely stacked. And the ratings say that he can close the gap on Ziggy Willy. We've got 5 clear chances there. Ziggy Willy's 1, Perfect Dare, equal top rater. Because of the inside barrier, because he did so well on a strong tempo last start, Suspensor's got form around Snoopy. And Magic Alibi alongside Madotti, who raced well on Thursday, so it's a great form reference for her. Let's go straight to the best bet. Really hard to go against Ziggy Willy, but we are. Safer bet, inside barrier, on pace, Perfect each way all day. He's 4th up, ready to fire, ready to win. And Magic Alibi, Gerald Ryan again, such a smart horseman. Since she's been swooping, she's even better than that race we looked at Rosehill.
Well, plenty to come out of that one in the last. That looks a tough race. But look, let's wrap up the quaddie. Seems like a really interesting day here. I've seen some bit of Gold Ambition there in the first leg. You've got Surplus, Invincible Knight. So there's a bit of confidence there, but there's race 7 there. You're throwing a lot in.
Well, race 7, we haven't done much work on that at all, have we? We'll go through that in a second. Race 6, there's the 4 main ones. There's a couple you could throw in as well if you like them. Aragold maybe is a good roughie to throw in, but they're the 4 we've stuck with, 3 from the same form reference. Race 7, we made the case to say that we can't be confident about the 2 favourites, Snoopy and Religify. We're not sure they're going to win, so we're going to cast the net really, really wide. Race 8's the one we're going chips in on. We like that race.
Yep.
And race 9, they're the 5 ones we like. Madotti might be scratched, so it might be just 4 in that last leg.
All right, no, it's interesting looking quaddie. I like it. Well, look, we've got to fill the Christmas stockings up, that's for sure. Hope we can do that for you on the weekend. All the big feature race guides will be online Friday, 9 a.m. It's going to be interesting out Rosehill, back to a good track. We're looking for that turn of speed, and that's what a lot of the race guide profiling can show you.
You can do as well as last week's show. That was great.
Well, Merry Christmas to everyone. It's been a pleasure here in 2016, and we'll see you again in the new year. Thanks for coming.
Cheers. Merry Christmas.